I haven't talked to you since the new gig, man. Congratulations.
Man, I appreciate it. It's been unbelievable. We're, very blessed working with my brother and David Cone, former Michigan quarterback.
Y'all are all taller than I pictured, by the way.
Well, listen, science is science,
especially
I guess.
Cone.
Yeah, no, Cone's a foot away from being in an arborarium or whatever they call the place where they put trees. Again, I'm not a tree scientist, even though I did grow up in Auburn. We tend to know a lot about trees there in the good way.
Sure.
But no, it's been unbelievable, man. We're very fortunate. I'm still waiting to wake up from a coma and then to tell me what truck hit me. So yeah, here all week, and glad to see you, man.
Of course,
buddy. Come down. It's been a while, but excited to get on and talk some ball.
So I guess national media is all over the place, right? With how they view Harsin and how they view the Auburn football program. Where are you? Where are you with assessing where this football program is and what they need to do in 2022?
Well, it's obviously still early, but the cycles, I know there's been an arms race in college football, especially the SEC. I mean, the turnover we see in coaches, the expectation to win early is really high, and the transfer portal has only increased that. You can flip a program a lot quicker. Long gone are the days of you have 3 cycles to do it. We're going to give you some time. You fall flat on your face your first year. That's okay. I think where Bryan is at right now and where the Auburn program is at is it's all about the players. We know that. It's all about the roster. There's been a lot of good coaches that looked elite because they had a lot of great players and a lot of elite coaches that look average because they have average players. I don't think the roster is where it needs to be up front because, again, the standard at Auburn should not be to finish 2nd or 3rd in the West. The standard at Auburn, even though it may be somewhat unrealistic, should not be anything but championships.
Wow.
So the minute that standard goes down, or the minute that we start watering down the expectations of what Auburn can be, is the minute that we have fallen so far behind Alabama and Georgia that we won't be able to catch up for a long time. And I don't want to wander for 40 years trying to catch up to these guys. So he's going to have to win probably 8 this year. I'm going to be honest. I think he's got to win 8.
What's the likelihood of that happening?
I got him going 7-5 because I look at the schedule, Zach, and as a guy that's from Auburn, a lot of Auburn fans out there will agree with me. I can probably tell you how it's going to go. Probably going to start out 5-0. Beat Penn State week 3, beat LSU game 5. After they beat LSU, he'll be the next Pat Dye. Everybody will love him. Then we'll go to Georgia and lose by 2 or 3 touchdowns.
Right.
We'll go lose at Ole Miss, end up kind of falling off a cliff a little bit. Bama's got probably the best team they've had in a long time, which is saying a lot. End up 7-5, and then you got to go win the bowl game. I think his tenure at Auburn could come down to a meaningless bowl game, which is crazy to say, but that number 8 looks a lot better than that number 7. So the way recruiting's going, we talked about last year, Zach, and me and you talked about it. You get a pass for this first class because you just came in. You haven't been able to sow the seeds, the relationships. This next class, you better come in humming. And they're not humming yet. It's still early. But if they don't get it turned around on the field and at least win 8, and you don't see that recruiting pickup, they've already got the arrows pointed at them. And the same people that were at Toomer's Corner with the signs of we're behind Bryan Harsin, we're Team Harsin, will be the same ones with torches and pitchforks going up to the athletic department if Auburn goes 7-5 and gets their pants pulled down by Georgia and Bama again.
Yeah, I mean, definitely who you lose to matters.
It's huge.
It is huge. And the fact that Bama and Georgia are on the road, I mean, it's almost impossible. It's almost impossible to pull that off.
And that's not only it. I mean, the SEC is not getting worse. I mean, Arkansas is a legitimate problem, Zach.
Not as good as last year, though.
Nah, I got them going 9-3 this year.
What?
You return both coordinators. You return your quarterback. The offensive line's probably going to be better. You return Bumper Poole, who was the leader in your defense in the midline and the front end, best name, all-name team.
Incredible.
And then you got Jordan Catalon, who was hurt last year, who a lot of people forget about at that safety position, who's coming down there trying to put you in the grave and setting those guys up around him for success. Arkansas has an identity. That's what I think Auburn doesn't have right now. They don't have an identity. They're having to throw a lot of stuff at the wall and see what sticks. Arkansas knows who they are. Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin. It's always scary, and you go on the road. We saw what Mississippi State did last year against Auburn, and Will Rogers is coming back, and that dude knows the air raid as good as Mike Leach. So it's not getting any easier, and eventually, when you're in the jungle, a lion's got to show his teeth, and if Auburn don't show their teeth this year, they're going to be on the menu.
So if Auburn goes 7-5, and you talk about his potential tenure at Auburn coming down to a meaningless bowl game, if you fire him after a bowl game, that's too late, right?
You would think, but again, I think they would give him the chance to get to 8. I think they would give him the chance, especially with everything that happened last offseason. See, the leverage switched a little bit, which you never see.
It's weird.
The leverage switch, but that leverage only lasts until the stuff on the field happens. What happens on the field will give you more leverage. Winning cures everything, right? You look at all the stuff that's happened, but I'm going to tell you this. if it doesn't work out for Bryan Harsin and Auburn, which I'm rooting for the guy.
I am too.
I hope it does, but I'm also a realist. I don't get paid to tell people what they need to hear. I get paid to tell them what I think and what I think they should hear or want to hear. I'm sorry, opposite of what I said. But I don't want to tell people what they want to hear. Let's put it that way.
I got it, brother.
Again, man, word salad. I feel like I'm working a certain other job. But anyways,
if you say it confidently enough, it doesn't matter what you say.
That's exactly right. But I want it to work out. But I'm telling you right now, there's a guy out there, and I said this during the last coaching search, that I feel like could get Auburn back to where they needed to be the quickest. And he's on a redemption tour. All right. We all make mistakes. And that's Hugh Freeze. And I'm going to bang that drum, Zach. I'm going to bang it like the little drummer boy walking down a parade, man. Hugh Freeze, to me, is the only one that can save us if it doesn't work out for Bryan Harsin. He beat Bama with Bo Wallace. You couldn't win an inter-squad game with Bo Wallace. I'm just telling you, Hugh Freeze
That's
is the
Dr. Bo
answer.
Wallace to you.
Dr. Bo Wallace. And look, Bo's a great guy. It's the truth. But again, Hugh Freeze holds the key. He is the key maker. If you've ever seen The Matrix, he's the guy, the architect sitting in the chair looking at all the TVs. That's who that is. If it doesn't work out for Bryan Harsin, you got to go get him. It's the truth. I'm sorry.